Welcome, friends. Thanks for tuning in to The Road Home, powered by the Truckers Service Association. This is John Piper. On this show, you will hear from drivers as we celebrated National Truck Driver Appreciation Week in September. Each driver I sit down with also served their country and is a proud veteran. We are live with Keith Lawson, also known as PaleriderTV. He's calling in from the yard at CalArc International in Little Rock, Arkansas. Welcome to the show, PaleriderTV.
Well, thank you very much. Thanks for having me on.
Well, this is awesome. As we record this, we're kicking off Truck Driver Appreciation Week. This is Monday, September 13th. I thought I was going to catch you at home, but there's some festivities going on there at CalArc. Tell us a little bit about what they're doing for the drivers there in Little Rock.
Well, they catered, the hot dog trucks came out, and they had a specialized donut truck came out, and general manager or the president, Central Holland, he was out washing trucks, and yeah, I got my wash, that's for sure. That's good work. Is it
sparkling? And I know you're very proud of that 2013 Kenworth. I think it's a T660. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
That's awesome. Yeah. And you're going to grab a load maybe later today and head out for the week. Yeah. One thing that's very interesting, Keith, is you've got your own YouTube channel. You started almost 10 years ago, over 5,000 subscribers. And it was kind of funny when I called you. We'd kind of met each other before, I think, at the Great American Truck Show in Dallas a couple years ago, while you were, I think, going around the floor filming some things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, what made you decide to start your own YouTube channel?
I don't know. I thought that is something I seen back in those days. That was early YouTube. I said, well, I can do that. So that was back before cell phones, and you had to buy a camera or something, a regular camera. So I just started doing it. I enjoyed uploading the videos and doing it ever since.
Well, that's awesome. You got a lot of content out there, and I applaud you for hitting that record button. We'll circle back on that in just a minute, but I also want to applaud you for your service to our country. You served in the Marine Corps from 1981 to 85, 4 years of service to our country. I'm tipping my cap to you right now, Keith, and we appreciate that. Not only we're very proud of you for being a professional driver, but also serving our country in the Marine Corps. Tell us a little bit about that experience. Started in your early 20s and served, I think, from the time you were 21 to 25. Yes. Probably a special time in your life.
Yeah, it was definitely an experience. Seen a lot of things and went a lot of places. That was back when, I don't know if you remember, it was 1983, when the truck drove into the building there in Beirut, Lebanon, where a lot of the Marines were staying and Navy personnel. And it killed, I think, 243, I believe, Marines and sailors.
Keith, were you in Beirut? Were you in Beirut at that time?
Not at that time. We had been there with our unit previously. And when that happened, we were just leaving the United States on ships, and this was our destination, was Beirut, Lebanon. So I was there before and after.
Well, probably a lot of things that you were able to build on from that experience in the Marine Corps that transitioned to being a small business owner. You've been an independent contractor for quite some time now. You've been with a division of CalArc called Central Hauling, their independent contractor division, for right at 10 years. That's a phenomenal stint at any one company. Tell us a little bit about what made you decide to get into trucking, and then we'll talk a little bit about the transition to becoming an independent contractor.
Well, I just always wanted to drive a truck since I was young, and always liked looking at trucks and seeing them driving down the road. You're a little kid, you're doing the air pump or the arm pump thing to get them to blow their horn. I was just fascinated with trucks. And then, of course, I joined the Marine Corps. Then life happened after that. Just never got around to it. And when I was 35, I just went and took the jump, started finding out how to do it. And here we are.
Well, Keith, I think we're going to see more and more men and women. Trucking's really the workforce there at CalArc. A lot of females in the workforce now. Do you know how many female drivers they have there at CalArc? Or do you see many women on the road?
Yeah, sure do. There's quite a few over here at CalArc in Central Holland. But yeah, you see it more and more out on the road.
Well, there's a huge focus on the supply chain right now. The spotlight on the trucking industry and the supply chain has never been brighter. So now more and more people that have never really thought about transportation, trucking, and supply chain are now starting to think about perhaps this is a career. Maybe if it's a non-driving job, maybe in the office, dispatch, safety, maintenance. There's so many opportunities. What would you tell a young person? Well, let's just take a step back. Not necessarily a young person, but somebody mid-career. Maybe they were 30, 35 years old like you were when you got in trucking. What would you tell them about this industry since you've learned so much over the last 25 or so years?
Well, yeah, anybody could. A lot of people think that, well, I can't do that. Look at that. Who can drive that truck? Anybody can drive that truck. Females, guys that have been working office jobs all their lives want to get out of the office and retire and come out here and drive a truck. Yeah, you can do it. I mean, it's not going to be handed to you, that's for sure, but you can surely learn.
Now, technology's changed a lot. I know a lot of the newer tractors are spec'd out with automatic transmissions. With your 2013, do you still have to shift gears, or do you have an automatic transmission?
Yeah, I have an automatic.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. Would you ever go back to shifting gears?
Yeah, I miss it sometimes, but I've grown accustomed to the automatic because, especially if you're sitting in a long backup and you got to stop and go, and that clutch will just wear your leg out. But automatics, I know it's so much a lot easier. Now, that's the good side. The downside to the automatics is that's just that much more that can break. A lot of components there.
Yeah, that's right.
Automatic transmission. So,
well, PaleriderTV, you've got a lot of unique experiences on the road. Tell us, like one super challenging load you had. Maybe always challenges on the road, but is there one load or one trip that really comes to mind that, like, man, I would never want to have to do that again?
Yeah, before this was back in. Well, it was 2 or 3 weeks after 9/11. I was with a company there out of North Carolina, and they used to haul out of somewhere in North Carolina. There are Safe Light windshields. I got a load out of there going up to Comac, Long Island, and like I said, it was 2 to 3 weeks after 9/11. Once I got up trying to get over to Long Island, I think it took half a day to get over there. And seeing all the emergency vehicles, you could still see the smoke rising from where the towers were at. I finally got over there. They unloaded. I finally got back over to New Jersey, and I swear, I never been so happy to be in New Jersey. It was that time, but I don't ever want to have to go through that again. That was crazy.
Yeah, as we remember and reflect the 20-year anniversary of that terrible day. And, it made us all think back in the Dallas area, headed towards the Dallas-Fort Worth airport, and just to see the air travel, all the planes starting to land. And then I just sat there and, I was listening to the news unravel on the radio, and it was just a somber moment that we can all, that we're adults that can remember. There's a lot of kids that were born that are just now 20 years old that don't have recollection, or kids that were born after that. But it was definitely a somber moment, a time of reflection, and really a time that we can all get back together and pull. Everybody's talking about, hey, what if it was like 9/12 and everybody was pulling together again? It would make this country so much stronger, and that's something that we need to remember as well.
Yeah, I remember all that. That it seemed like even in the White House, in Congress, the Senate, even political enemies were hugging each other and singing songs out on the steps of the Capitol. And I remember all that. But that didn't last too much longer.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
That.
Well, Keith, tell us a little bit about life on the road today. I know there's a huge issue with parking. I was actually at the Arkansas Trucking Association conference recently, and that was brought up again. That seems to be at the top of everyone's list of things that need to be improved. Do you personally find a lot of challenges on the road as finding parking spots at both truck stops, rest areas? Is it a challenge out there for you?
Yeah, sometimes I try to get started early in the day enough to where I can get stopped early in the afternoon. So usually don't have too much of an issue. Then again, it depending on the area of the country you're in and the truck traffic and everything. But a lot of people put down these reserved parking where you have to pay to park. But I don't have an issue with it because paid parking has saved me a lot of times of even being able to have a place to park.
What is the average cost of a paid spot? I guess that's reserved spots at truck stops, right? They normally reserve like 15 or 20 spots.
TA Petros or something. I think Flying J's are doing it now, but it all depends on the area you're in. I think some TA Petros would be like $15. Then you go around, I think West Memphis or some of the higher volume areas are like $20. I think somewhere, I can't remember which one, was 25.
Is there ever a situation, kind of put you on the spot here, a situation where you're an independent contractor, so you pay your own expenses out there? Is there ever an opportunity where you get reimbursed for that parking due to a situation with a load, or is it usually all 100% your costs?
Well, it comes out of my pocket, but you always write off at the end of the year.
Okay, yeah, it's a business expense, so there's some tax savings there. That's right. Well, hey, in wrapping up, Keith, this has been awesome. You joining us from a driver appreciation event there at CalArc in Little Rock, Arkansas. What's one thing you would like to see changed in our industry that would make it better for the trucker, the shipper, just the whole industry? Is there one thing? I know you talked to a lot of people through your YouTube channel, PaleriderTV Trucking. What's that one thing that if you had the power to change it, you would do it?
Just be nice. I was going to say courtesy, be courteous, but then you got the shippers and receivers. Is just be nice to us. You don't have to bow down when you walk in the door, but just be a little nice. And as far as the courtesy part, I'm talking about the drivers on the road, not just the car drivers, but the truck drivers too. Courtesy has left, well, for the most part. So I like to see that come back.
Is it still a challenge? Like you're almost expecting when you go in a shipper or a consignee that they're going to be rude to you and not be very cordial?
Yes, sir.
That's unfortunate. I just don't understand
Sometimes you have to tell yourself, all right, stay calm. Don't say anything. Let it roll off. But it's hard to do sometimes. You just got to turn around and walk away out of that situation because no matter what they do, you're always being the wrong, so he's got to deal with it and just say, I'm never coming back here. That's how you can fight that, is never go back.
Wow.
Keep from it.
Do you have a couple shippers that you won't go to mainly because of the consignee that you have to deliver to? Do you have a list that you keep in your head that you just won't pick up at?
Oh, yes.
Wow,
yes,
that's bizarre. I mean, I just don't understand that one. None of us.
The weight. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was going to say none of us would. I was just at a CVS pharmacy at lunch today, picking up some coffee and some things for my office, and obviously I'm in the trucking industry, and I think everything on that shelf, everything in that store. And there were a couple trucks delivering while I was there, bread truck and I think a beverage truck. None of that would be on the shelf if it wasn't for a professional driver delivering it. I mean, we should all embrace that, right?
Yeah, I don't understand it either. Say you want us to deliver or pick up your product and take it. So, why are you treating us like, I don't know, second-class citizens, I guess. It's crazy. I never understood that.
Well, Keith Lawson, also known as Pelerider and founder of the YouTube channel PaleriderTV Trucking. We'll put that in the link below of the podcast. Make sure you tune in and check him out. Pelerider, so good to have you on the road home. Safe travels.
Thanks for having me on.